Oh, I didn't do Billboard.
Guys,
Hi.
it's episode 99.
Hey, y'all.
We've finally made it.
Almost. One more week.
This is the last of the double digits. Can you believe it?
I can believe it.
Well, you don't have to be so enthusiastic about it.
It's
like, oh god, it took forever.
This isn't the momentumous one.
For Jay-Z it is.
99. Yeah, we got 99 podcasts.
For Gretzky it is.
Yes. The next week will be the exciting
Puig it is.
one. Week.
Any other famous 99s?
I don't know. Judge.
Judge, yeah, Aaron Judge.
Judge.
Yep.
99s.
Yep.
All 99s.
All 99s.
But yeah,
player.
Next week will be the interesting one. That'll be the episode 100.
Well, here, let's start recording Audacity.
Episode.
Hello!
Hi! Welcome to the Media Boat Podcast. It's November the 22nd, 2017. This is episode 99.
And first off, happy birthday, Mark.
Happy birthday, Mark. I did not text him yet.
I'm going to text him right now. Let's just do it right now.
Let's do it together.
Yep.
Right at the same time. Creep him out.
Yep. Because we both remembered at the same time. Oh shit, it's Mark's birthday.
Oh shit.
Oh shit, it's your birthday? We're going to not party like it's your birthday because you're an old man.
Do I still have the YouTube link for birthday song?
I bet you do somewhere.
I gotta find it now. Anyways, it's the Media Boat Podcast. This is where your source for apparently people looking up things on YouTube, but also for movies, television, video games, and music. All of that, not necessarily in that order. All of that just for you. We make it just for you. Born and bred here on the Media Boat Podcast, and how we always start the Media Boat Podcast is, of course, with the box office numbers of the past
before we get to
weekend.
box office, he's Matt, I'm Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Mike, he's Matt. This is episode 99. So be sure to join us next week for episode 100. But first, we gotta get through 99. And speaking of 99s, our number one movie at the box office didn't even hit 99.
No, so we called number one, of course, it's Justice League.
That was no surprise.
No surprise
But
there.
what was the big surprise of the week, or of Justice League being number one, was that it only made $97. $97.
Yes, it only made $97.
No.
All theaters sold out.
Yeah, $93 million
So
over the weekend.
So this is only interesting in comparison to the projections. I remember reading a projection that was sitting around 110.
Right.
And so this is only disappointing because of that.
Well,
the studios knew it was going to be hovering around 100. They just did the wrong side.
Right. We even said it's going to be 100. Let's set it at 100.
Yeah. So yeah, it's disappointing as these superhero debuts go. It's especially disappointing if DC since DC was obsessively relying on this to be the thing that really put the DC universe.
But there's some things that happened with Justice League, though.
Yeah.
You're coming off of Thor Ragnarok.
Right.
Which
doesn't help.
You're coming off of Batman v Superman, which still leaves a bad taste in people's mouths.
Though, there was a big thing called Wonder Woman in between those two movies that did a little bit of good. Yes. I think you would have seen even more dismal numbers for this if Wonder Woman wasn't a smash.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair. I think Wonder Woman gave it a little bit of a boost that it wouldn't have had otherwise, but not enough, clearly.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, you have kind of people going on, on both sides of the DC Marvel argument about going off about how this is a significant thing. The DC people saying, like, no, it's still really good. You guys, you freak out every Marvel movie, but this is still good numbers. And then you have the Marvel people, oh, well, we told you. It's like, you didn't even hit 100. Like, your movies suck. Ours were good.
Right. That being said, this is the lowest output of the DCEU.
Yeah.
Which brings us right into...
not great to have on your flagship movie.
No, but this brings us right into...
Yeah, let's talk about... You saw Justice League this past weekend.
To be fair, I was a little bit drunk seeing this thing.
Yeah, but maybe that would help.
Kind of.
So I read your thoughts. If you want to read Mike's thoughts on Justice League, you can. MediaboatPodcast.com is where you'll find that story and more.
Yes.
But generally speaking, what'd you think about it?
Well, as I started off with my article, DC has a marvelous problem, and that it's being Marvel. Marvel, for the past 10 years, yes, it's been 10 years since Iron Man came out, has basically defined the superhero genre. And I mentioned this back when Wonder Woman came out.
Yeah.
And how Wonder Woman was vastly different from anything Marvel has done, and that was a good thing. That being said, Justice League is very similar to Batman v Superman because of the director.
Yeah.
Because of Zack Snyder. And I hate to put this all on Zack Snyder's shoulders, but he is
It's hard not to.
It's hard not to.
It's got his style all over it, from what I understand.
Yes, and that's because when they signed Zack Snyder for Man of Steel, they signed him to a 3-picture deal. That's turned out to bite them in the ass.
So yeah, he is responsible for Man of Steel, as you said. He's
Yes.
responsible for Batman v Superman.
And
now Justice League. And all three kind of seems like they have the same problems.
Yes.
But you did mention one positive element on why Justice League works better than those movies. And it's
the character interaction.
which, of course, you kind of have to. It goes
yes,
with the.
it's an ensemble movie.
Because it's an
You
ensemble
have
movie,
to.
it's about a team. You're going to have interesting dynamic between. It's the whole reason why Avengers 1 worked so well.
Yes.
I really liked Avengers 1 because not
It's-
because of the fight scenes, not because the drama.
Yeah.
It was because of the interaction between the superheroes. That's
Right,
a fun
it's-
thing to see.
Right, because it's the first time that these standalone heroes in their
Right.
own right
Talk to each other.
have to team up to meet and have to team up to do something greater than themselves.
I mean, heck, that was even the best moment of the Defenders on Netflix.
Yes, the whole
The
fight
banter
scene.
between the just meeting each
Oh,
other,
yeah.
finding out about each other.
Right,
Because
and then them pairing off.
because that to me is more interesting than the fighting.
Right, because in the end, the fight just becomes a big CGI fest.
Right.
And that is the problem with Zack Snyder, is that he's all about the blue screen,
Yeah.
the big CGI. And
The slow-mo. How much slow-mo fight sequences are in this?
there's a lot, but
Yeah.
there's only one time that it works really well.
Okay.
And that is when the Flash enters. So, spoiler, probably the worst kept secret about this movie is
Yeah.
that Superman is in the movie. Even though he's in none of the posters, he's in the movie.
From what I understand, there's a reason why he's not on the posters.
Well, yes, because,
Yeah.
Spoiler, he dies at the end of Batman
I was
v
going to say, you
Superman.
can spoil that movie because I feel like it's been long enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he dies. But at the very end, they see like, oh, maybe he's not dead. They tease it. But turns out, yes, he is dead. And so this movie goes in 2 different phases. The first hour, basically it's get the team together, let's go fight the big bad guy. Oh, wait, we can't defeat him.
Yeah.
So the turning point is we need Superman. And then the rest of the movie is basically becomes waiting for Superman. I know that's already a movie. And yes, I made that joke before. But yeah, it basically becomes waiting for Superman.
Sure.
Because really,
Because it's actually a documentary
Yes.
and it's about teaching.
Yes.
No. Yeah.
Yes. Sure.
Because Superman is the almighty superhero.
Right.
You do whatever the hell you want him to do. So he's a plot device.
Right. and because he's the plot device, he is like the ultimate hero. Trump card.
Yeah, it's kind of like as a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you make
Yes.
Superman the most powerful superhero, then you're going to need him to solve your problems. So if you get rid of Superman, then you basically have to write around everything until you realize, oh wait, no, we just need Superman.
Right. Well, as I saw one person on the internet compare it to Dragon Ball, where basically you just have to buy enough time for Superman to show up.
Yeah.
Or Goku to show up.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your star, your person who is guaranteed to be able to kill these guys.
Right.
Or defeat these enemies, because I don't think no, Superman kills. Batman does.
They all.
Then against the yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
From what I understand about the Zack Snyder universe, Batman is he doesn't care.
Well, no, it's that he has to kill on because like there's no other.
Sure.
There's no other way around it.
Sure. Anyways, one of the things I think that got a dovetails with this that you wrote in your thoughts.
Woohoo!
Yeah, dovetails,
Oh.
DuckTales. Is that you said that the problem with Superman, of course, is that if he's the most powerful, and this has always been my problem with Superman as well, like even outside of the movies.
Right, if he's the most
If
powerful.
he's the most powerful, then what makes him interesting?
Well, no. Well, because I can get behind One Punch Man because it's a satire on the superhero genre.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, the problem with Superman being all powerful, just basically coming in and owning the entire fight, is that you're basically just sitting there waiting for him to show up, and you don't care about anyone else.
Yeah. Which does not make for a fun movie-going experience,
No.
from what I understand.
No.
So yeah, so this isn't great. It seems like some moments of kind of the character interaction at least do it enough of a service where it's at least semi-watchable.
Yeah. So everything in between the big fight scenes is salvageable, and it is great. It is once you get into the we need to establish a fight scene. Oh yeah, this is a superhero movie. We need to establish that again. That's when it starts to become a Zack Snyder film.
Yeah.
And lose all that hope.
If we're hoping that this is going to be another Wonder Woman,
it's not.
It's not. It's not that. But if you're a fan of the DC universe, if you're a fan of Justice League specifically, this may be. Do you think it's got enough of that fan servicey stuff in it to warrant them?
It does. It does.
Okay.
Also, if you want something other than a generic Marvel movie, this is what you're gonna get.
Yeah, it's true. It's a change of pace.
Right. It's a good change of pace too. It's just that it becomes a little too comic booky to where you don't believe it, you can't buy it, you just can't get invested in it. And that's kind of the problem with it, is that because Marvel has centered all its superheroes in a relatively real-world setting, even though they do like super fantastic stuff like the Asgard stuff in their realms, and then there's Doctor Strange. Even though all of that is there, like in the supposed real world that Marvel has set up, at least they established that it's in a special certain universe. Whereas this one seems to be all over the place, where they introduce random characters and you're supposed to like get behind them instantly.
Yeah.
Also, for the first 30 minutes, it was basically, hey, we're going to come here, introduce this thing, steal what we need, and then get out of it. It's very jumpy. And the very show is like, wait, what's that? What's that? Is that interesting? Does that have anything to do with anything? Oh. And then by the time you realize what's going on, it's too late.
Yeah.
Also, Steppenwolf, not a big name villain.
Not to be confused with the band Steppenwolf.
Right.
And also not to be confused with what was the Jeopardy clue that we had a couple days ago about Steppenwolf. It was something else. I don't remember. Anyways.
I know there's a song Steppenwolf.
Anyways, so you're on our patented media boat scale of...
Stream it.
Okay, this is a solid stream.
It's a solid stream it. Stream it because you'll find stuff that you'll like.
Yeah.
In it.
But you don't need to go out and pay $15 for it.
No, you don't need to go out and spend your money on this thing.
Definitely not right now.
Right.
When there's other things to see, such as the rest of our top 5.
Right. So the rest of the top 5, we have number 2 was Wonder debuting at number 2.
This was a big surprise. Apparently
27 million.
This debuted to a way higher a number than the studio even estimated.
Right.
And apparently it ended up being very good counter-programming for people who didn't want to see Justice League.
Yeah. I mean, only 27 million on a tiny budget. So.
Also, I was right. Remember last week we were kind of battling over number 2. I said it was going to be this. You jokingly referred to The Star as your number 2 pick.
Oh, yeah.
The Star did not even debut in the top 5 this week.
No, that thing bombed.
Number 6.
Yeah.
So no.
But number 3 was Thor Ragnarok.
Yep.
With 21 million. That thing has made 247 million total domestically.
Past 700 worldwide.
Yes.
So it's already a top 10 all year worldwide grossing movie.
Yep. Number 4 was Daddy's Home 2.
Yep.
With 14 million.
Hanging out there.
Yeah, that thing has made 50 million so far. And right at your top 5, Murder on the Orient Express.
Right.
With 13 million. Made 51 total.
Hang on.
And apparently that 51 total, or I don't know actually what the worldwide is, but they have greenlit a sequel. They've greenlit a sequel.
Is there a sequel?
Well, there is more stories of Hercule Poirot.
Right. Okay. So
and
there's
that's
ways
what
to
it is.
do it.
Yes. So where the second one is Murder on the Nile, I think.
Got it.
Or it's on the Nile, so something on the Nile.
It's in denial. Got it.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. That'll be cool to see.
Yep.
Next weekend, or
this weekend.
this coming Thanksgiving holiday weekend.
Yep.
805 numbers calling me.
Oh, wow. You probably Marcus to ride the Zamboni at tonight's Ducks game.
Cool. Because it's his birthday and he's a season pass holder?
Maybe.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah. Just make sure you take pictures. Well, anyways, so there's nothing coming out on Friday. A bunch of small independent movies coming out on Friday.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean we have a new number 1 this week. As of today, tonight, this Wednesday, you can go out and see the new Disney Pixar animated feature.
Right.
Coco!
So Coco.
The
new Pixar release is technically a Thanksgiving release, but you can see it today if you so choose. But they've been advertising it as a Thanksgiving release.
Right, but when it comes to Thanksgiving, you put your movie out before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That way people can go see it on Thanksgiving.
So you have seen this already. You saw the premiere last night.
Yes, I saw the early showing.
So tell me about Coco. What's going on with Coco?
I can sum it to you in one sentence.
Okay.
Halfway through the movie, I thought I was watching the best Pixar thing ever.
Uh-oh. That's not a good sentence, because what happened to the other half of that movie?
Oh. What do you mean that's not a good sentence?
No, because that scares me. It sounds like you're setting it up to be that the second half was super disappointing.
Well, once you figure out the twist,
okay,
it becomes a little bit waiting for the characters to figure out the twist.
Sure. That can be entertaining when done well, though.
Yeah. Well, this thing is a hard movie to pull off.
Yeah.
Okay, they have this movie was stuck in development for a long time.
Yeah.
A lot of rewrites on this thing. A lot of switching directors.
Which is par for the course for Pixar.
Right.
Sure.
But that being said, when you watch the movie, you can get the sense of, well, this is definitely a high concept type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, well, can you explain this? How does he do that? Or why is that a thing? Like, how's that a thing, but that's not a thing? What if this happens and that happens? But the movie kind of explains most of it.
It's a world that they build a world and they have to do a good job,
of explaining the rules.
Of explaining the rules, and you're saying that they actually do a pretty good, decent job of it.
Yeah, it takes some time.
Yeah,
but they do actually explain a lot of the rules of the world.
That's really cool because I was worried.
Yeah, I was worried too. Like, especially at the beginning of the movie, I was worried. Like, well, if it's that simple, why does this happen? Or if someone does this, how does this happen? And I guess there's a code for this thing that keeps happening.
Explain some of that away.
Yeah, and they kind of explain some of that thing away.
Good. Okay.
Which is good.
So, how would you? What would you compare this to tonally if you were going to compare it to another Pixar movie?
Well, it's a family movie. This thing is all about family.
Which makes me jump to Inside Out.
Yes.
Like, tonally, is it like that? That kind of balance between, like, this is a story about a family, but also kind of a humorous story about something else?
Yes, because it's a so take the actual, like, real life part of Riley where she, like, does all, like, the bad stuff and, like, her, like, gets, like, out of her family.
Uh-huh.
Like, basically wants to leave. Take that part, make it the A story, but the B story is just as significant because it's actually about singer-songwriters.
Yeah, right.
and about how a singer and a songwriter collaborate and like who gets credit.
Oh.
It's a really interesting Simon and Garfunkel thing they have going
That's
on,
cool, yeah.
which I didn't think they would go with, but they totally went there.
Great.
And I was happily surprised. Oh, also about this movie, it has a lot of original musical numbers.
Yeah.
From
Is
the
it?
Lopez, the people who did Frozen.
Frozen and Avenue Q peeps.
Yes.
So, is this a musical?
Partly.
Okay.
It's a musical in which they set up to do original songs, but those original songs are on a stage, like set up to be like, oh yeah, probably
So they're,
thoughts up.
what you're saying, to drop a highfalutin, oh my god.
Yeah.
To drop a highfalutin film school term, are you saying that they're diegetic?
Yes.
Essentially what that means for our audience is music that comes from the world of the film. So for example, if your character in your film is watching a stage performance of a musical performance, that is diegetic because that music is coming from the world of the film. However, the opposite of that is if you hear the soundtrack, a pop song, for example, start playing as kind of a framing device for what you're seeing on the screen that's not coming from anything visibly on the screen, that's non-diegetic. It's not from the world of the film.
Right.
So yeah, you're saying that it is musical in a way, but
That it
it's all
services
performed.
Yes, and it
Performed
services the
pieces.
plot.
Yeah,
Like significantly.
good.
And I applaud them for even like trying to attempt this, and it works so well.
That's cool.
Like I said, like this may be one of my favorite Pixar movies.
You scared
Of
me
all
there though
time.
by saying the caveat that you had.
Yeah. Well, like I said, the caveat is that you, like the audience, if you're paying attention, easily figures out the twist.
Sure. Yeah.
Like it becomes so in your face that you're like, come on, figure it out. Like sort of like for you to move the story along, but the story moves, which is what I like about movies. I like movies that continuously move. That there's a goal in mind. There's actually a timer for this thing.
Right.
I like the ticking time bomb.
Well, this sounds like something I have to see.
Oh yes,
At
I
some
would
point.
need you. Yes. I would put this in the top 10 of the year.
Great. Well, that's really good to hear.
I may even put it in top 5 Pixar.
Wow.
It's that good.
Having only seen it once.
Yes.
All right. Cool. Well, I know what I'm gonna do this weekend.
Because I was watching that thing, as I was thinking, I was like, this thing looks great. This thing sounds great. I'm glad that they chose to go with an all Mexican cast with this thing.
Yeah.
Because it makes it feel really
That's
authentic. I just can't stop praising it.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. Oh, except for they do use the Frida Kahlo joke.
Oh, I'm sure. You
Several
have to.
times because it is the one thing that's like super Dia de los Muertos.
Yeah. That's
out there.
an aesthetic. That.
Yeah, that's an easily recognizable aesthetic.
Cool. Well, that's exciting. So this is a go see it.
Oh, this is definitely go see it.
So
Take your
this is a go
family
see it.
this
Take your
weekend to go
family,
see it.
If you're a family who goes on Thanksgiving to the movies, which is apparently a good idea because nobody does, you should do that because it seems like this is a good movie to do that too. Cool. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, definitely take your family. This is definitely a family film.
Yeah.
I do. Well, when you start thinking about it, the one thing I do have about this, which is kind of spoilers, is that when you die, you take your skeleton form, but a lot of the skeletons in the world look kind of young.
Okay.
Which makes you think something happens in people's 30s or 40s.
Or maybe it's like an unspoken rule where you get to choose or something.
You would think that, but
Maybe. I don't know.
maybe.
Again, this is one of those things you're probably not supposed to think about.
Right.
So yeah, okay, cool. Let's move on. So that's next week, really?
Well,
Other
that's
than
this
that, there's
week.
not a whole lot going on.
No, like I
this
said,
week?
Coco is the one thing coming out this weekend.
All right.
It will be your number one movie,
Does
obviously.
Greta Gerwig's Lady Bird go wide? I think that is happening.
Let me see. Did I miss the Justice League review? Yes.
Yes.
Shout out to Aquaman. He goes shirtless.
Always shout out to Aquaman.
As in, he needs his own movie, which he will be.
He will be getting his own movie.
Yep. Also, Matt, go see Coco.
I will.
Doctor, go see Coco. I would actually like to take you to go see Coco.
Go see Coco.
Yes.
All right, moving on from Coco. We have movie news, I'm sure.
Yes.
What do we got this week in movie news?
Unfortunate Pixar stuff.
Yeah, speaking of Pixar, well, unfortunate. I don't know. This is a weird one.
Right, and I put all the weirdness in it too.
Yeah. There's some layers to this.
Oh, yeah. So apparently Mark's going to Facebook Live his
Cool.
stuff, so we can see it forever on Facebook.
Great.
We can see what it's like to shot from the rink.
From the Zamboni Man.
Yeah, from the Zamboni.
Zamboni Man.
All right. So John Lasseter will be taking a leave of absence from Pixar.
Is apparently a self-imposed sabbatical.
Yes. He cites, quote, missteps that the studio has taken in recent years, and that he feels that he is no longer he's not the leader or mentor that he wanted to be, and therefore will be stepping aside for the time being until he can get his house in order.
So in the statement that he released, there's a brief part where he mentions that there may have been conversations or interactions that he had with staff that he felt like maybe that the people involved felt were uncomfortable or awkward.
Well, I'm getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so while he's gone, he will still serve as executive producer, in name only, on upcoming Pixar projects.
Of course.
But there's currently no timetable for his return. This comes right before allegations of his, quote, unwanted advances, which, as most people put it, prolonged hugs that maybe last just a bit too long with female staffers.
This is interesting because I feel like I've heard that anecdote before.
Yes.
That he gives really long hugs.
Yes. Someone actually found a clip of him meeting Miyazaki.
Yeah.
And instead of doing the traditional Japanese handshake,
he hugs.
Running up and hugging him, and Miyazaki's trying to get out of it. You're not getting out of a John Lasseter hug.
John Lasseter's hug is like Donald Trump's handshake?
Yeah.
You can't get out?
Yeah.
Let me out! So... Now, do you have the other part of this, which is kind of weird?
Yeah, the other part is that the last time that he took this leave of absence, he took a road trip with his family on Route 90, the historic, Route 66.
Right.
And we ended up with cars. So
I don't know if we're going to end up with a different kind of movie, because I don't want to see that movie if he comes back with an idea. What I'm referring to is that there was something I heard involving actress Rashida Jones.
Oh, I saw that. I did. Do I have it here in my bits, though? No, I don't.
So
but Rashida Jones
is
left the writing for Toy Story 4.
So
amid different... what was it? What was the phrase that they used?
Something.
It was a different understanding of the Toy Story universe. So that's basically what I got out of it.
So when we covered that originally, because remember we briefly talked about this back when this originally happened. But at the time, we weren't in kind of this zone we're in right now, where the common reason for women leaving a post or for men being called out for inappropriate behavior, as Lasseter is called out for himself.
Right.
We just kind of assume that something's going on with that interaction. To the point where Rashida Jones actually had to say a statement yesterday saying that the reason why she departed the movie was not due to inappropriate conduct on behalf of us. So she did go out of her way and actually say that, just so that would be off the table. So that way people wouldn't just assume that that's what is going on here.
Right.
So for all we know, I mean, this is Lasseter, being honest and being aware of himself.
Right. Apparently he has had several HR meetings about his hugging.
But
his interactions.
There's a key difference between this and the other things we've seen recently, which is that this is not somebody alleging.
Right.
Someone non-anonymously coming out and saying, this X person did this X thing. This is just a man being like, oh man, I probably have screwed up.
Yes.
And probably seeing his colleagues like this being, rightfully called out, and probably just thinking to himself, well, if I can do something to better myself, I'm going to do it.
Right. Also, he's also the CEO of Disney Animation.
It's a big deal.
That's
the other part of this is that this is a big deal. Not to say, of course, if any of this did actually, like any of this happened, of course, if it did, then that'll come out. If the people want it to come out at some point. Mm-hmm. But he's taking the steps. But that, of course, does not forgive him of any possible inappropriate behavior he's done.
Correct.
So yeah, it's an interesting thing because this is kind of somebody who is a big head honcho at Disney, leaving for a while. So we'll see if this makes any difference. Probably won't. Right. I feel like the studios pretty much run themselves.
Yes. Oh, yes. And speaking of Disney and Pixar, before Coco is Frozen, Olaf's Frozen Adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Forgot to mention that. So yeah, it's not an original Pixar
short.
Pixar short. It is a.
So this is the first time that this has happened, right?
I believe so.
A Pixar film has been introed with a Disney short.
I believe so. Short. Yes, because normally Pixar does a Pixar original short.
Is this because of the weird schedule that they've had in the last 3 years, where
maybe
things their films kept getting moved?
Maybe, but I think this is also a part of the fact that the Lopez's are working on both.
Maybe, yeah.
Because there is original music in that. And so also, it gets people who love Frozen to go see the movie for the short.
I didn't know that it was there until you just told me, so I don't know if that's fair.
Okay, yeah. In the big billboards in movie theaters, right at the bottom it says you can also see Olaf's Frozen Adventure.
Yeah.
So
okay, I didn't know that, but yeah, I mean that's interesting because one of the cool things about the Pixar shorts is that it's kind of a way for them to demo new directors.
Right, or demo new technology.
And new technology. So this doesn't exactly have that.
No.
But
that being said,
I'm sure it's fine.
It's a fun adventure because it is timely. It's basically...
Olaf gets accused of sexual harassment and he has to leave his position.
Well, no, because...
No? Not that kind of timely?
No, not that kind of timely. Okay. Because Anna and Elsa have never spent Christmas together. They have no family traditions.
Oh, okay.
So this is Olaf on an adventure to try and find a family tradition for them.
Because he doesn't know what family tradition means.
Well, no, also because they have none.
Right.
Because Elsa was locked up in her room.
Sorry, when you said that, I just imagined Olaf not understanding that, and so thinking that he was searching for something called a family tradition.
Actually, yes, that is also part of the joke.
Nailed it. Alright,
moving on.
Let's move on.
Moving on to another director, Quentin Tarantino.
Oh boy.
So, as we did note last week, he had finished the script. And he's also got funding now. So, Sony has given the director a $100 million budget.
Sorry, just real quick. It's funny that you're using that picture because there was this great Twitter joke I saw last week that was this picture of Quentin Tarantino makes it look like he's gonna bust Harry Potter. So, anyways.
Well, that's actually the latest picture for him.
I know!
Yes. That's why I used it.
Anyways.
Yes. Anyways, yeah. So, his next movie will be $100 million.
That's an expensive movie.
It's his 9th studio film. I think this is his highest budget, too.
Yeah.
The project will be set in L.A. in 1969.
Sure.
He's eyeing Margot Robbie for the role of Sharon Tate.
Of course he is.
And the male leads being eyed as Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, and Leonardo DiCaprio. The story will focus on a TV actor who has a one-hit series and is looking for a way to get into the film business. His sidekick / stunt double is looking to do the same thing. Supposedly the Manson murders that this thing's supposed to be based off of is actually the set in the backdrop instead of the main story. At least that goes from what he's been pitching, or what he pitched to the studios.
Okay. That could be interesting.
Yeah. Well, because Sharon Tate, actress.
Right.
And then it's just them being actors, trying to get into actor stuff.
Actors.
Actors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Moving on. What else do we got?
Just gonna wrap it up real quickly with the bits. Because we had two thoughts. We'll wrap it up real quickly. So, the bits. Dunkirk. If you thought you were done with Dunkirk, it's not done with you.
I'm not Dunkirk.
Yep, as it will return to IMAX screens and 70mm projections. Just in time for award season.
Oh, good.
So, if you didn't see Dunkirk in the summer, what was wrong with you? Also, now's the perfect time to go see it.
It's like, also, hey, Academy, remember this exists?
Yep.
Yeah.
The Fantastic Beasts sequel gets a
Name.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Crimes of Grindelwald.
Domestic abuse. Oh, sorry. We're talking about the character, not Johnny Depp.
Yes.
Sorry.
Too many scars.
Again, that was a Twitter joke, not mine.
Yes. We also get a Star Wars runtime of 150 minutes.
Damn.
That includes credits and is the longest Star Wars movie to date.
So get ready for a long-ass Star Wars movie.
To put that into perspective, 150 minutes, 2.5 hours from start to end.
I feel like episode 2 and 3 were super long. So I can't imagine how long this is gonna be. God.
Alright. And lastly, The Incredibles 2 trailer is out.
Yeah, well, teaser. I think it's very generous to call that thing a trailer.
Oh yeah, it's a teaser.
It's a teaser.
Yep.
It confirms that this is picking up exactly where the last one left off, with Jack finding his powers.
Yep.
And pretty much that's it.
Pretty much.
That's all that confirms. So we have no idea any plot, new characters, nothing. We don't have anything except it confirms that Jack has powers, and that presumably some of the plot will be about him trying to control them.
Yes.
Or the family trying to help him control them. Because he's a baby. He can't control nothing.
Right.
Fair enough.
Do we establish why she has blonde hair yet?
I don't know. I think I missed the pilot for this, so I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. So moving on to TV and the world of sports.
Sports.
Yes.
What do we got, sports?
So, UCLA players have been in trouble recently. Basketball players specifically.
B-ball.
Yep. The Big Baller brand.
Yes, in fact.
In fact, yes. This deals with exactly that story.
Oh, God.
So, 3 UCLA players were accused and convicted, I guess, of stealing sunglasses while playing in China.
Shoplifting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you would think that people who make a bunch of money playing professional basketball...
No. These are college...
I'm sorry. Never mind. Then that makes 100% sense.
They get none of that money.
No, they get no money.
Yes, so the College of UCLA.
The college.
Yes. Has decided to suspend these players until further notice.
Right.
But that's not where the story... Well, that's where the story ends.
But...
There's a bunch of bit stuff in the middle, too.
Oh, man.
Alright, where to begin?
So
they stole stuff.
Yes.
The president was obviously, at the current time, on his Asian tour.
Trip to Asia, yeah.
Yes.
Asian. Trip to Asia.
Yes.
Trip to Asia, yes.
Yes. His Asian tour. And have to be in China at the same time, where he negotiated the release of the players.
Yeah, probably not, but that's what was said.
Yes, that was said. And then upon returning home, the players made a written statement apology.
Yeah.
Saying thank you to the president.
This is where we should mention what one of those players were.
One of those players is LiAngelo Ball, son of outspoken
Lakers dad.
Yes, LeVar Ball.
LeVar Ball. So this is something that I think... Have we talked about LeVar Ball in this podcast? I swear we have.
Yes, we have.
And also, I think we also mentioned when...
We mentioned him back when they were doing the NBA draft,
yes.
and how his son...
And then
Alonzo,
more
which should
recently,
be drafted by the Lakers.
and more recently, he's probably come up because Kenan Thompson has started doing a LeVar Ball character on SNL's Weekend Update.
Yes, he did one before, like
Did it on the
last
summer
season.
edition, and
Yes.
he did it again in the regular season this season.
Right.
And so yeah, LeVar Ball, and there's no surprise why he would do an impression of this man, because this man is out there. But you know
He is an impression of someone.
But you know who's more out there? So apparently, judging by the actions of this week, our president. So talk about what happened between the two of them.
Being a master troller himself, LeVar Ball said on Twitter,
Yes.
"Huh? Who?" In regards to Donald Trump getting his son free.
Yeah.
To which President Trump took offense to that immediately and fired back, saying, "Do you think they would have been released if it wasn't for me?"
Ugh.
And Twitter war ensued.
My favorite thing about all of this is that they had LeVar Ball on CNN to talk about it.
Oh, yes.
And just he just goes on a whole thing about it. It's hilarious. Look it up if you haven't heard it.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just amazing that we live in a time where the father of a basketball player is feuding with our president.
Right. I mean, doesn't he have more important things to do?
Apparently not. Apparently the golf course was closed.
Oh, no, I was talking about LeVar Ball.
Oh, I mean, yeah, probably not. Also, probably not.
Yeah, Big Baller Brand runs itself at this point.
Hey, no, those $500-something shoes run themselves at
Yes.
this point. Okay, we need to stop talking about LeVar Ball. Let's move on.
All right, let's move
Anything
on.
else in sports?
Yes. Because tomorrow is Thanksgiving, get prepared for
Thanksgiving
4 games, Thanksgiving games.
Football.
Yep. Football.
It's
lots
a
and lots of
tradition.
football.
It's a tradition.
Yep.
In a lot of households.
Yes.
Not mine. You know what my Thanksgiving television tradition is?
Specifically watching the football episode of Friends.
No. It's funny, but no.
Oh.
And no, it's not Slapsgiving episode of How I Met Your Mother either. No! Is
it
a tradition
Festivus?
that goes back to the early 90s. It's the Mystery Science Theater 3000 Turkey Day marathon. They used to do it on television back when it was airing on television. Since then, they brought it back around 2011, and they've started doing it on streaming services like YouTube.
Right.
So, yeah, if you like Mystery Science Theater, they're doing it again this year.
Also, if you like Mystery Science Theater, it's on Netflix.
Well, it's still on Netflix, but also they're doing this,
Yes.
which is cool. So they'll probably combine some new episodes of the Netflix revival as well as some classic episodes of the original series. So check that out if you like it. But that has nothing to do with sports. Were you done with sports?
Yes.
All right, then let's move on to proper television news.
So, in proper TV
There's
news...
only news about the proper television.
Yes.
So Downton Abbey and
the
Great
FCC.
British Bake Off.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. That's all we got. No!
The FCC.
Oh, they keep it proper.
Yes. You don't know me, but the FCC does.
FCC knows everybody.
Yes.
Even those weird Mork guys.
Yeah. Because FCC won't let me be me.
Morgs?
Pork.
Porgs.
Porks.
I was like, Morps?
Porks. Everyone's gonna love a pork.
Everybody loves a pork.
Yep.
Okay, tell me about the FCC. What they're doing.
This is actually a follow-up to
Okay.
2 weeks ago when we noted that the FCC was looking to repeal a rule that it had
Yes.
established back in the 70s.
So this was about companies owning local television stations,
Yes.
and there used to be limits for that,
Right.
but now there are not.
Correct. It's about blocking broadcast media mergers
Yeah.
and making it far easier for media outlets to be bought and sold to broadcasters.
Right.
Thus being owned only by a handful of companies.
So
It's basically one big antitrust act.
it's yeah, that makes sense. But what's happened now is that that's being reversed.
Right.
So now there's no regulation, not as much regulation on that kind of thing.
Correct.
This is
It's where is it here? Yes. Yes. There'll be. This was eliminated. They eliminated the regulation on a 3-2 vote, split vote. So this basically means that small media outlets that are struggling to survive can and most likely will be bought up by bigger corporations.
Right.
And because expenses for those smaller outlets would be too expensive, they'll be moving stuff to the bigger cities.
So, if this sounds familiar at all, that's because this has already happened to radio.
Yes.
Back in 1996, I want to say. Is that when that happened?
The Communications Act of 1996?
Yeah. I want to say that it was part of that.
Yeah.
If it wasn't, it was shortly thereafter. It was in the late 90s.
Right.
But yeah, this happened already to radio, which is why you have major companies like Clear Channel owning iHeartMedia.
Yes, they
owning so many
rebranded.
radio stations in the major markets and kind of removing local programming from non-major market stations and replacing it with pre-recorded major market shows like Top 40, Ryan Seacrest, and stuff like that.
Right. This is why LA stations got rid of the local only stuff that they used to do every night.
Yeah, stuff like that. So imagine that, but for television. But as our television friend, not actually friend, that'd be cool if we were friends, John Oliver pointed out on Last Week Tonight this season, is that there are some pretty nefarious companies that could be out to buy your local station and replace your local programming with some pretty lousy stuff.
Well, not only that, but they also get to determine what programming you get to see.
Yes, it has a direct effect on what programming is shown on your local stations. So we're kind of in a weird zone for this. We're in a major market. We see all the LA stations, so we actually don't know what this is like.
Well, because we don't have a cable.
The closest we've had to like a local channel was the KDOC, which was local for a long time. I believe it still is.
But I actually went there for a job interview.
Yeah.
But all I do is reruns. They don't do anything original.
And that's why I brought it up.
If they do, it's once a week.
They used to try to be some sort of network. But what happened is that, with the competition of being in a major market, they kind of had to settle into a zone where they're showing really cheap content.
Yep. Lots of Family Guy.
And local access stuff, like infomercials and crap.
Yeah.
Because whatever they can afford to do is what they have to do. There are probably still markets in the U.S., just not here, that do have still a thriving local station. This might threaten that. So, good luck for those of you in that situation.
Yep.
It'll be interesting to see how this pans out.
Yeah, and speaking of content that you are specifically shown, brings us right to our next thing.
Okay.
If you've been anywhere around the internet lately, you've seen the battle for net neutrality.
It isn't looking good.
No, the only reason this is here is because a lot of people stream TV shows, whether it's Hulu, Netflix, PlayStation's View.
Yeah. So essentially, if you don't know, net neutrality is a term that I'm sure we've probably brought up on this podcast.
I believe we have.
It's been going around for years now. Though you're still kind of in the dark about what this means.
Or whether you should be for it or against it.
Yeah.
Let's break it down.
Net neutrality, what that means, just the term net neutrality means that's the net right now. That's a net that is not influenced by any large corporations, by any corporation's money, to change any website change the balance of any website over another, any content over another, any provider over another. Right now, the internet that I have is the same internet that you have. I can go to the same websites, access the same content, no worries. Like, I can tell somebody in Wisconsin that I'm going to a website and engaging in this content, and they can probably engage in the same content without having to pay more or less than I'm paying, depending on what they're paying their provider.
Right. Right now, the only difference is in terms of upload and download speeds.
Yes.
Depending on how much you're paying your provider.
So this is where it kind of gets into the path against net neutrality that a lot of ISPs and major corporations are for. And that is bandwidth caps. That's kind of the Trojan horse that we've been seeing that's going to lead towards that direction. Mm-hmm. Bandwidth caps are essentially your ISP or internet service provider saying you can only use this amount of memory every month or so, or every period of time that we deem ahead of time.
So
or you'll get overage charges. It's
basically
like
your
getting
cell phone.
overages on your cell phone back when that was still a thing.
Well, it is still a thing for people who have data caps.
Yeah.
Of like if you're not on an unlimited plan and you only have like 5 gigs of data.
So once upon a time, that wouldn't have been a big deal. A lot of people, not that many people were power users when it came to downloads. However, 2017, two of the major things, most popular things you do on the internet are 1, Netflix,
and 2,
YouTube. YouTube, and both require a lot of memory download. And so
because they are videos.
If you're a heavy Netflix user, if you're, for example, somebody who uses it every single day to watch HD content, you're going to see that number add up, and soon you're going to have Comcast giving you a call, or not even letting you know. You're going to get on your bill for Comcast an overage fee because you went over your cap. Mm-hmm. Or, the alternative, and what's almost kind of worse, in my opinion, is they'll slow you down after you hit a certain amount. All of a sudden,
that used
if you
to
pass
be
a
the
number,
thing.
they'll crank your service off, and you'll just be like, oh, well, now I can't watch anything because it's all pixely.
Well, that's actually what Verizon does, is if
Yeah.
you hit 25 gigs in a month, it will slow you down.
Right.
I think T-Mobile does it as well.
There's similar stuff for cell phone plans. There's going to be similar stuff. So if you aren't aware, do some research. Be aware if your ISP is doing anything similar. I've done the research. I also talked to somebody who works for our provider. Mm-hmm. He swears up and down that he has had no one tell him that they've hit the cap yet, but he is aware that there is one. Okay. But he says he thinks it's, quote, impossible for an average person to reach, unquote. That is what he told me. Then again, he's also going to get a paycheck from the company, so I don't know. But I'm also pseudo-related to him now, so
yes.
Anyways, I've tried to do my own research on that. It seems like there is a cap,
right?
But I don't know how high it is.
But there's also...
so it could get worse, is where this is going.
Right, that's only one of the ways that things can go.
Yeah.
The other way is the EA way.
I saw that too.
Yes. What we mean by that is because of the recent microtransactions that EA has brought upon Star Wars Battlefront, where paying $60 doesn't give you the whole game. Similarly, paying a certain amount to your ISP will not give you the whole internet. It will give you certain websites that that your internet service provider deems what you should be available to you, what shouldn't be available to you.
One of the comparisons I saw was to a cable plan.
Okay.
Where you have a base package that they could charge you for,
right?
That everybody gets. Then expansion packages, like how on a cable package you would buy the movie package.
Right.
And this would be like the social media package. Here's access to Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that, and LinkedIn. Here's the video package, which is Netflix and YouTube. Here's the sports package, which is special streaming on ESPN.com. Stuff like that. So they could compartmentalize a la carte package the internet.
Right.
For extra price than you're already paying.
Right.
That's the scary future we could be living in.
Right. Someone compared it to, I saw, a library. Where because you live in a single market where there's only one library, that you only have access to that one library, and whatever that library deems you to books you check out or websites you visit, then they'll charge you specifically per website. Like if they own this website, then they'll charge you less for it because it's what you can afford.
Yeah.
Whether they charge you more for stuff that you need, but you can't afford it.
The popular example of that specifically was that if Verizon gets the power of this to do something like this, they could have Yahoo search be totally free and charge you for Google. Right. Of course, when I read that, I thought this is kind of a weird thing because didn't they announce that Yahoo is going to stop being a search engine?
Yes.
So that didn't make any sense to me. But still, it's an example of
it's
an example of this company owns this thing. So for example, if somebody was in bed with Bing, they would force you to get Bing instead of Google.
Right.
It's that. It's just an easy example to explain to someone. Or if, maybe you get Hulu but not Netflix or something like that.
Right.
Stuff like that. So it sucks. I mean, we've literally grown up with the internet. I mean, we've had the internet since
a lot of our generation have shaped the internet.
Yeah, since between the ages of 5 and 10, it was kind of for us. It was in its nascent stages.
Right.
And so basically, we were just coming aware by the time the internet
about
was around.
95-ish.
Yeah, but that's really early. I mean,
96.
I probably wasn't using it until like 99, 2000, personally.
Probably. Like extensively.
But so we have always known, and a lot of people around our age has always known a world where the internet is just this thing that you have access to and that isn't controlled by any entity. So this would be a big shift to the internet that we know it, as we know, which is crazy.
So if you don't want to pay individual prices per website, or
or streaming service,
or if you want to keep the internet as it is right now, call your senator.
Yeah, net neutrality is a big deal. Make sure your senator is for it, because don't get confused. As you said, it's confusing whether you want to be for or against it. You definitely want to be for net neutrality. Neutrality in this case is good. It means that everything is equally accessible.
Yes,
that's what that means. So just keep that in mind. Cool.
Yep.
Do we want to move on now?
Yeah, we spent a lot of time on that.
We did,
but we needed to.
It's important.
Yes.
We might not be able to do this podcast if they pass stuff like that, because they could cap our streaming ability.
Oh yeah.
So keep that in mind. The Media Mo podcast may only have 100 episodes if this goes through.
I don't know. We'll hit next week.
We can still do audio.
Yeah.
Oh, well, then we didn't have to worry about if Podbean changes there. Whatever. Let's keep going.
just never hit the 100.
Squarespace doesn't let us toast it.
All right. So, anyways, the other thing. So I didn't want to cover this thing, but it's effective immediately and effective TV show wise.
It is kind of a big deal for just television history.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Charlie Rose. That's who that is. Well, that's basically old man yells at things that's not.
He interviews
Mickey
people.
Rooney.
He doesn't yell at people.
Do you watch 60 Minutes with him on? Basically, he was if Mickey Rooney did investigative journalism.
Are you thinking of Andy Rooney?
Yes, I am thinking of Andy Rooney.
It's like I would watch Mickey Rooney do some investigative.
No, I am thinking of Andy Rooney.
And if you're thinking of Andy Rooney, ever wonder what? Yeah, that's Andy Rooney.
Yes.
No, but
ever wonder how Rapunzel's mother died?
No, I didn't. Actually.
Anyways, Charlie Rose has been terminated.
I used to buy these lollipops for 5 cents. These days, you can't get a lollipop. Sorry.
For a nickel.
Okay. Keep going.
Anyways, Charlie Rose has been terminated from CBS News, according to network president David Rhodes.
And guess why?
This comes after the Washington Post. That Washington Post.
Yes.
Reported details of a pattern of coercion and harassment of women.
Yeah.
Including one account where he had a robe on, and that was it, and the robe was open. Yeah.
Yeah, not great.
Not great.
So, I mean, yeah.
Yep.
He's, in his institution on television. He's been on television for decades.
Right. He does wield some power.
On CBS.
Or used to, I guess, now.
And also his interview show, named after himself, Charlie Rose.
Yes.
Has always been kind of the interview show for years. And years and years and years.
Yep.
They come on to the dark set. It's just 2 chairs. And it's just them chatting. This is a big deal because of that both CBS and
PBS and Bloomberg have announced that they would cease the distribution of his show, Charlie Rose.
Deal with him completely.
Yep. According to the letter or the memo sent out by President David Rhodes, he said, quote, there's absolutely nothing more important than ensuring a safe professional workplace.
Yes.
Obviously, there was more to this, but that's the main line to get out of this thing.
Right. Good for them. They made the right call. And again, this is just yet another in a string now of people getting called out, on their behavior, and good for that, because we don't need stuff like that happening to people who just guest on a program. You think that it's just going to be like they're going to ask me questions. It's going to be the usual press junket. I don't need to see Charlie Rose's press junket underneath his robe.
Ha!
Ha!
Moving on. To the bits.
The bits.
So, speaking of people leaving, Jeffrey Tambor exits Transparent amid sexual harassment claims.
Yeah.
Now I wonder where that show is going to be, because isn't he the star of that show?
Give or take. From what I understand, is it's become a lot about the auxiliary characters as well. Like, what's her name? The main lady. I forget her name.
Mrs. Tambor?
No.
Mrs. Transparent?
Anyways. So yeah, I think that they can do that show without him.
No. Alright.
I'm curious, they've already kind of written into the... I don't know if this is this has to be coincidental, right? That his character on Star vs. the Forces of Evil now barely speaks.
Oh, Glob Glob?
Yeah! And so I'm like, well, that's really convenient for them. They basically just either choose to write him out completely, or just have him never speak again.
Or, yeah, because they only have him recorded for Glob.
Yeah, they could totally get away with it now.
Yeah.
It's such a weird coincidence, unless, of course, they heard earlier, and that's why they made that call.
Right.
It's like, well, the fans like this character, we have to bring him back, but let's maybe not involve Jeffrey Tambor.
Yeah.
Either way,
so they made him say some weird phrase.
Yeah, so it's pretty good.
Yeah. Also in the bit, Seth Meyers set to host the 2018 Golden Globes.
Awesome.
That's a good call.
He's on fire right now, so I'm glad that they got him.
That is a good call.
Yep.
CW crossover event, Crisis on Earth X.
Right.
That trailer was revealed earlier this week.
Yeah.
At one point, they said that there will be up to 30 superheroes on screen in one fight. I didn't know there were that many across all 4 shows.
I guess, well, there probably aren't in the main cast, but I'm sure they can get some pulls.
Yeah.
This sounds like the Civil War of frickin' DC.
Right.
Is it kind of similar?
Which is weird, because DC television,
yeah,
especially on CW, is outpacing that of Marvel television.
Yeah, easily.
But Marvel movies are outpacing, so it's weird.
Yeah, they have their niches.
Yep. Also, and lastly, the Tragically Hip are Canadian. I didn't know that.
Yes, they are. Very Canadian.
Yes, and so is Alex Trebek.
This is true.
Yes. Guess how Canadian they are?
I don't know.
They're super Canadian.
Did they do something with Alex Trebek?
No, but well, kind of. Okay. They are so Canadian that both have received the Order of Canada honor.
Okay, yeah.
Basically, that's like the equivalent of the highest a civilian can get.
Right. For
Canada. I think ours is the Silver Star for the U.S.?
I don't know. Something like that.
Yeah, for a citizen, not non-military.
Right.
But yeah, congratulations. Expect to see Alex Trebek probably sported on an episode of Jeopardy.
Maybe so. So that just happened?
Yeah, it did just happen, so it will probably be a while till we see
That's interesting, because the Tragically Hip just broke up, and also one of the members just passed away.
Right.
So, yeah, that's a big deal.
Yep.
Okay. Are we moving on to music? In fact, that's a good segue.
No.
No, we have to do cancellations and renewals.
Correct. We have to do cancellations.
All right, let's jump into it.
Yep. So first up, Nashville canceled again.
Yep. It's for reals this time.
Yep.
We think.
So it does have its last 6th season already filmed
and this
in
was
the can.
On CMT, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So 6th season will air.
And a movie.
But it will end.
New movie?
Yes, with CMT. Also, Still the King on CMT has been canceled after 2 seasons.
Still the King.
CBS has ordered a full season order of SWAT. And they've also ordered 3 more episodes of the comedy 9JKL.
Sure.
VH1 has canceled The Breaks after 1 season.
Okay.
That was supposed to go to MTV for the start of 2nd season. But apparently MTV doesn't want none of it.
No.
They started to backpedal.
Hey, them's the breaks.
Yep, so that's the break. NBC gets a 3rd season of The Good Place.
Yay! That's exciting.
Yep. And now for the deaths.
Not as exciting.
Not as exciting. First up, we have Anne Wedgeworth, 83, actress on Three's Company, Steel Magnolias, and was also a Tony winner back in 1978. We also have Hiromi Suru, age 57, Japanese voice actor in Metal Gear Solid and Dragon Ball. She was the Japanese voice actor for Bulma, one of the main characters in Dragon Ball.
Right.
They are currently in the run of Dragon Ball Super. However, the character of Bulma has not been in it in several episodes. So whether or not they replace her, or maybe write her off, I bet they'll probably replace.
Yeah.
It is voice acting, after all.
Probably.
Yeah. But that is a big loss because she did a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But those are the big two that stuck out.
Right.
We also have Earl Hyman, age 91, actor on The Cosby Show and Thundercats.
Right, yeah.
We have Bill Robertson, age 59, actor in Forrest Gump, Patch Adams, and The Patriot. We also have Tel Tills, age 85, Hall of Fame country music singer-songwriter for I Ain't Never, or he wrote I Ain't Never, and Coca-Cola Cowboy.
Okay.
There's also Warren Pete Moore, age 78, Hall of Fame singer for The Miracles, and songwriter who wrote the tracks of My Tears, Ain't That Peculiar, and Love Machine. Yes, that Love Machine.
Weird. Okay.
We also have Terry Glenn, age 43, football player, died in a car crash.
Oh.
Played for the Patriots, Packers, and Cowboys.
Damn.
And we have Buzz Belmondo, age 70, actor and comedian, starred in Out of This World, Baywatch, and Faster. Then we have one. I'm just gonna go real quick here. Charles Manson died.
Right. Yeah.
83.
Dude.
If you don't know who Charles Manson is, look him up, and then be glad you never looked him up.
I mean, yeah, important, I guess, in the grand scheme of culture.
Yes.
Especially in the 60s. But yeah, made some really messed up stuff happen and led to murders of some people and was just a kind of a crappy guy. So
yeah, and
no, he's not cool. Regardless of what your like weird counterculture internet hole wants you to believe, he was never cool. He's not cool now.
And if you want to, and he will be portrayed on the movies by Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah,
not by Quentin Tarantino, but in his movie.
You know what? I could totally see actual Quentin Tarantino being actual Charles Manson.
Yes.
All right.
And lastly, one that happened on Saturday.
Yeah.
Mr. Malcolm Young.
Yeah.
Age 64. Hall of Fame guitarist and songwriter.
AC/DC.
AC/DC fame.
He's the guy.
Yes. Died of dementia.
AC/DC.
When I went to do paint night on Saturday, they played an AC/DC song.
Aww.
And the instructor, I don't think, knew that he died.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a sad one. One of my friends in high school really
doctor didn't know. And I had to tell him.
Yeah.
I had to break the news to her during paint nights.
Oh. Maybe that guy.
Yeah, I'd be that guy.
But yeah, one of my friends in high school was really big AC/DC fan.
Mm.
So, yeah. You want me to
so with AC/DC.
Segue, though, into music.
Yep.
What is not AC/DC is the Billboard Top 100 and 200, which are neither have AC/DC in them. Oh, no surprises here.
Yep.
Your number one song in the country is still Rockstar by Post Malone featuring 21 Savage. No surprises there. Number 2 is Havana by Camila Cabello featuring Young Thug. This is second week at number 2. Debuting at number 3, moving up, is Gucci Gang by Lil Pump. Number 4, moving up a bit, Thunder by Imagine Dragons. And 5, holding on to the top 5 by All Her Might, Cardi B with Bodak Yellow, Money Moves. Moving on to the Billboard 200 list, you can guess what number 1 record in the country is.
Is it Taylor Swift?
It is Taylor Swift. Her first week of eligibility, she sold 1.2 million copies, as we talked about, in her first week. So that means she has the number 1 album in the country with Reputation. Number 2 is The Thrill of It All by Sam Smith, moving down from number 1 last week. Chris Brown's Heartbreak on a Full Moon is still number 3 for no explainable reason. Number 4, Stoney by Post Malone. Number 5, Divide by Ed Sheeran.
Okay.
That's your Billboard. What do we got coming out?
New releases.
The Friday.
It's a slow news release. It's only 5.
Because it's holidays.
Yep. So we have Bjork with Utopia. Bjork.
Please.
All right. We have Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds with Who Built the Moon?
Hmm.
And we have Sect with No Cure for Death.
Okay.
That's it.
It's a good week for names of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so Bjork. There's that.
Yeah.
It's Bjork. Album.
So look for another Taylor Swift album.
Look for it.
Yep.
All right, music.
Music.
News.
Stone Temple Pilots.
STP.
Yep, STP. You know me.
Damn it.
Earlier this year they lost their lead singer.
Yes.
So, but they still have shows to play. And they have found a replacement.
Okay.
That replacement is none other than former X Factor contestant.
What?
Former X Factor contestant.
That was a curveball.
Jeff Gutt.
Jeff Gutt.
Yep.
G-U-T? G-U-T-T?
G-U-T-T.
G-U-T-T. Good name.
Yep. Not to confuse with Taika Waititi. That's Jeff Gutt. Gutt with two T's. He will front the band, which already played at the LA Troubadour.
Cool.
He is a Detroit native and competed during the 2012 season of the X Factor. The band treated Gutt's debut as a big event by borrowing all cell phones in the venue.
Yeah.
But if you want to listen to him, they will actually air the entire set on Sirius XM radio this Friday.
Okay.
On Howard 101, the Howard Stern Show, and the alt show, Lithium.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yep.
That's the XM station.
Yep.
Lithium.
But apparently they played all their hits, including Plush and...
because, of course,
yes.
you have to play Plush.
Yep, and Interstate Love Song.
Yep.
And the crowd...
Jesus Christ Pose.
Yep, and the crowd didn't kick him off stage.
Hey.
So he must be decent enough to get by.
Good.
Yeah.
No,
So,
good for them.
congratulations, Jeff Gutt. Hopefully you'll become a household name. Maybe.
Jeff Gutt, you are already a household name in this household.
Yes. And speaking of Sirius XM...
Speaking about Jeff Gutt.
Yes.
All the time.
Speaking of Sirius XM, if you have it, and it is installed in your car, chances are you probably don't listen to it that often because you're not subscribed.
Yeah.
Because why would you be? You have the radio or Spotify.
They might even call you. Like, know you about it, too.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes. But if you have it installed, like most media stuff...
I don't know about you. I have it right here in my lap. I took it out.
Put your Sirius XM away. No one wants to see that out here.
I took it out of my car. I have it right here.
But yeah, so apparently like most big media stuff, they will give you a free trial weekend this weekend. Woo!
Cool.
They have activated everyone's account for the weekend. But just be forewarned, if you do try and listen to it, they will try to call you.
They'll track you down.
Yep. But yeah, they'll give you 100 free stations. Basically all the big ones, all the big hits.
Cool.
If you want to listen to it this weekend, like on your big trip to visit grandma.
Yeah.
Or somewhere.
Over the river and through the woods.
Yep. Otherwise, stick with your Bluetooth. And be sure, if you are going on those trips, to download your playlist from Spotify.
Do it.
You will lose service, I guarantee it.
Yep, because Through the Woods has no Wi-Fi. Anyways,
moving on real briefly here. That is one Neil Young. Well, I guess Neil old now.
Sure.
But anyways, Christmas is coming early for Neil Young fans, as he's being as we were being treated to an upcoming album on December 1st. But there's more.
You know, it's been a tumultuous last couple of years of deaths where I legitimately had to think right now whether Neil Young had died or not.
Yeah.
He is still alive.
He's still alive.
Okay. Double check.
Yep. And he's giving you access to his entire music catalog. I don't know. I think we described this for someone else earlier.
Yeah.
But he's giving everyone access to all his music. He describes the archive as a place you can visit and experience every song I've ever released in the highest quality your machine will allow.
Cool.
It will be called, drum roll please, Neil Young Archives.
That's the best he could come up with.
NYA, yes.
Okay.
Will be available to anyone free of charge upon launch December 1st.
Okay. Cool.
So just Google search Neil Young Archives and enjoy all the Neil Young your heart can desire.
This is like the opposite of that Taylor Swift XM station.
Yeah.
So,
See? Down in theaters.
yeah, no theaters. First time hearing about it. Anyways.
And lastly, in music news, John Lennon is making headwaves.
Headwaves?
Headwaves.
Okay.
As John Lennon, it has a 50-year-old man.
Wait, what?
So
What's going on?
a 58-year-old man
Okay.
has been arrested in Berlin
Got it.
on suspicion of handling stolen items from John Lennon's estate.
Oh.
German police note that the items were stolen from Lennon's widow, Yoko Ono, back in 2006, and they have finally been seized. The stolen goods consist of various items from the estate, including several diaries that were written by him. They have been confiscated, but it is unclear when they will be returning to the estate, as they are part of an ongoing investigation. So, those things exist.
Okay.
Moving on.
That was really exciting. Glad we covered that story. Moving on.
Music news is slow. Moving on. Speaking of Berlin.
Were we?
Yes, that was the Berlin police that
Okay.
made that arrest.
Okay, so what about Berlin?
So Berlin, the country, is getting in on these loot box controversies. Oh, by the way, we're in gaming now.
Wait.
What?
I don't know. We got nothing.
Okay. So we're in gaming.
Oh, we're in video games now.
Yes.
Video game news.
Yeah, video game news.
Germany.
Yes. So Belgium, getting in on this whether
Oh, sorry, Belgium.
yes whether loot boxes are gambling
You
service
said
or not.
Berlin
Belgium.
at first.
I did?
Now you're saying Belgium.
Oh, Belgium.
These are different.
You're right. Yes. That's confusing. Anyways, the Justice Minister of Belgium is looking to ban the practice of loot boxes in Europe altogether.
Okay.
A conclusion has been made that the spread of loot boxes in video games and the difficulty in regulate them using current laws has made cause for concern.
Sure.
They will be looking into whether loot boxes are considered gambling or not, because if it targets a specific type of people with an addiction,
Yeah.
they can consider that gambling.
Yeah, that's fair.
And so if it does, because they are part of the EU, they may be banning loot boxes in video games altogether, except for Great Britain.
Right, because they're not in the EU anymore.
Correct.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see how this goes, because that could definitely influence other countries, including our own, to maybe consider the same kind of things. The only difference is that we here have a pretty powerful lobbying, a lobby for video games called the ESA. And so the ESA will fight tooth and nail to make sure that they're not regulated.
Right.
So we'll see what happens. I mean, that's why that hasn't happened yet for us, is because the ESA are, well, I'm not going to go there. They're making the wrong choice here. I've been on their side sometimes in the past, but I'm not on their side on this issue. Or their stance on unions either, but that's another situation altogether.
Okay.
Anyways,
in other gaming news, THQ Nordic
yeah,
has...
they're still around.
One, they're still around. Two, they've acquired a studio.
Okay.
They bought Experiment 101.
Stitch?
No, that's not. That's 326.
Oh, that's 626.
626. No, this is Experiment 101, a gaming company in Sweden,
Okay.
for $9 million.
Okay.
The studio, Experiment 101 was founded by Stefan Lundquist.
Okay.
He is a former studio art director and the game director of Just Cause.
Oh, okay.
The studio was founded in 2015 and is responsible for Biomutant.
Sure.
Haven't heard of Biomutant?
I've heard that name.
Okay. That name may sound familiar because it was not released yet.
Ah.
Yes. Biomutant is a post-apocalyptic action RPG set to release in 2018. The deal includes the development studio and all intellectual property rights. THQ Nordic aims to build Biomutant into one of their major franchisers. After it was well received at Gamescom 2017 this past year. So they saw what they were working on, they liked it, and they bought it.
They liked it, so they wanted to put a ring on it?
Yes. So they got the thing on lockdown.
Got it.
They put Experiment 101 on lockdown.
I love lockdown.
I love lockdown.
Keep your love lockdown.
Yep.
Love lockdown. Cool.
Yep. So look forward to them beefing up Biomutant and hear more about it coming in 2018.
All right.
Now for the thing we've all been waiting for. Black Friday deals.
Yeah, so Friday is the most ridiculous shopping day of the year, so get your armor ready. It's Black Friday.
Retailers.
So what do you got for deals?
So
there's some choice stuff.
Yes, so some of the deals out there include a PS4 Slim, 1 terabyte, $200.
Okay, now this is important. The $199 price point is traditionally very important for consoles because in the past the most successful consoles have sold most of their units after a price drop to $199.
Yes.
So this is like known as kind of the transitional period for a console generation between this is a thing that only the hardcore want to this is a mass market product.
Which PS4 has become a mass market product.
So this is happening. Of course, this is not a permanent drop. This is just for Black Friday, but it is the beginning, and this will let the floodgates open for Microsoft to do something similar.
They may or may not, because PS4 Pro, the one that does all the 4K stuff,
right?
That is having a price point of $350,
which is only a $50 drop.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but for $150 more, you'll get the Pro version, which includes the HDR, the 4K, the beefed up stuff.
But considering that's almost it's almost twice of what you're paying for the base unit, if you don't have a PS4 and you don't see yourself buying a 4K television anytime soon, it is a no-brainer to pick up the $199 Slim.
But here's the thing, though. Okay. A lot of retailers, including Best Buy, are bundling 4K TVs, specifically 4K Sony TVs, with the Pro.
I mean, that's smart. If you want the TV, then yes, get the thing that you use with the TV. Yep. But what I'm saying is for the average customer who's not going to invest in a 4K TV quite yet.
Kristen says, let's be real, shopping starts tomorrow.
Tomorrow night.
Yes, tomorrow night, 8 p.m.
For you crazies out there.
Yes. Thursday, Brown Thursday deals.
Ew, don't call it that. It's Brown Thursday.
The turkey brown.
You know what's brown? You know what really is Brown Thursday? When you're in the bathroom after you eat all that food.
Yeah.
That's Brown Thursday.
No, everyone sleeps after turkeys.
Hey, you do.
Yeah, I do actually.
Just take a crap.
However, speaking of Sony, PSVR.
Yeah.
We'll see a price point drop too as well to $200.
That's smart.
Yeah. Or you can get it for $300 with games.
Who needs games?
To play stuff.
Oh, well, there's that.
Well, most of us say it comes like 1 or 2 games for $300. So anywhere between $200 and $300, you can get a PSVR for those that already own PlayStation 4s.
Cool.
The Xbox One S will get a price point of $190. $10 cheaper than the PlayStation, but it's the 500 gigabyte model, not the terabyte.
Yeah.
The Xbox One X, however, will not see a price drop.
Because that thing was just launched, and so they're going to want to get retail price for that thing.
Right.
And also, the people who are going to buy it are the people who can afford it right now. So
right, and also expect a lot of retailers to confuse people saying you want the Xbox One, and then giving them
Xbox,
the
Xbox.
X.
Yeah.
The X.
You want the Xbox?
Like, this one just came out. Okay, I want that one. Not realizing what they're buying instead of the one that's on sale.
Also, it sucks how close S and X are.
Yes.
Sounds
especially if you have someone whose English is not their native language.
Right. Or somebody who's maybe a little older and hasn't been following the differences between the two. It doesn't know that there's a difference between the two.
Yes.
They might hear the retail guy say, or a person say, like, oh, it's the X. And they might be like, the S? Yes, the X. Yeah, that one.
This is the one I want, right? Yes. And then they go up to the front and they try and buy it, realizing how much it is. They're like, well, it's all electronic stuff. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Not realizing.
Which brings me to my thing that I want to say real briefly about this. Please, I know you guys want your good deals, and I know that you want, to get out with all your Christmas shopping done on Friday. I get it. But keep in mind, the people working at these stores are also human beings. Please treat them thusly. And also keep in mind that they don't want to be there.
Yes.
They're all against their will. They're paid to be happy and deal with your madness. So please make it as easy as possible on the people just doing their jobs.
Right, and also if you happen to go to Black Friday like in the afternoon, please be nice to them if they don't have the stuff you want.
Please, yes, understand.
I've worked Black Friday and I had to explain so many times to people that we ran out of this stuff. They're like, oh no, I'm sure it's in the back. Like,
understand that the back is not a magic place where things just come from. I know people who never worked retail think that. It's like, oh, they just have everything in the back. No.
Like, they had to have stuff for tomorrow, so it must be in the back.
No, that's not how that works.
That's not how that works.
They get shipments every morning. That's how stores work.
Yes.
Anyway.
There's a night staff that restocks everything for us.
Literally stock people who are constantly going to get stuff. It's not magic.
Yes.
It's not like Narnia back there.
No.
So be smart. Just that's what I'm saying. Be smart. It's a capitalist nightmare, but be smart.
Yeah. Also, for Nintendo Switch, no deals, but expect to see some bundles somewhere.
Yeah.
But if you're in the market for a 2DS or a 3DS, those will be on sale.
Also, since we won't be podcasting until after this happens, Cyber Monday will be Monday on the internet. So check that out if you're more of the kind of person who likes to shop inside as opposed to out.
Yep. And lastly, the Oculus Rift will get a price drop to $350, down $50 from the $400.
Not bad.
So if you're looking for a VR machine, maybe the deal is today. Or
yeah,
it may not be a bad deal to go for.
It's getting
just make sure your computer can run it.
Yes, make sure you have a computer that is capable to run VR. If you do the research, then yes, by all means, go check it out.
And by all means,
price rates.
Do your research. Yeah. Don't rely on the hourly wage retailer to know what they're talking about.
Because they're going to want to sell you the thing because that's how they're trained.
Right.
They're not going to know necessarily every single bit of computer knowledge that you need to know. Do your own research. You have your own serial numbers. Look up what brand of computer you have. Look up your CPU thing about what your graphics card is like. Because yes, if you don't think your PC has a graphics card, you cannot buy VR.
Right.
So yeah, stuff like that. Just keep that in mind.
Right. Also, you don't need the most advanced souped-up thing to run VR anymore.
No, but it's recommended.
Oh yes, it's totally recommended.
Yeah. Try to get the best card you can if you are also buying a card.
Yes. Or if you happen to have a teenager in the house, ask them for advice.
I'm sure they'll have stuff to tell you about what rig runs Overwatch the best.
And just make sure you write them down. Make sure they write it down for you because you will not remember half the stuff. Trust me, I've dealt with old people who know nothing about technology. My parents.
Oh yeah. I used to do a call center for installing software. I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Anyways, be safe.
And be nice.
Be nice and be safe.
Yes.
Moving on.
And that brings us to two thoughts.
Yes.
Alright, so first one is one we're talking about for a lot. Wolfenstein.
Yeah, so we've finally jumped into some Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus. We, in fact, played a little bit of it just before we jumped onto this podcast tonight, so if you want to see the archive of that stream, it's archived on twitch.tv/mediaboat, so check that out. So we played a little bit of that. It's the sequel, of course, to Wolfenstein: The New Order.
Right, that was a PS4 launch title.
PS4 and Xbox One around the launches of both.
Yes.
I think there was also PS3 and 360 versions of that game as well, if you still have the older consoles. This, however, is fully the current consoles. Yeah, I mean, we kind of already went over on the stream. We're liking it so far. We're not that far into it. We're about probably...
Maybe a third.
Maybe a third in. So we've got quite a ways.
It feels like we're done with Act 1.
Story's going some places, but I feel like this is definitely something that we're not going to have a whole lot more to say about until we finish it.
Yeah.
So...
But that being said, I'm liking the story so far.
Yeah.
It definitely goes places,
Yes.
and I do see why this gets nominated for Game of the Year stuff.
And the gameplay, I mean, it's very similar to the one before this. It's a lot of stealth combat combined with just kind of all guns blazing, just run and gun. It seems to want you to trade between the two at will. It doesn't necessarily have like a preference. It's fun either way. So yeah, it's a pretty cool thing. Although one of the things is we're playing on a very easy difficulty because apparently that thing ratchets up super hard on the middle to even like the high, but also like the middle tiers of difficulty are pretty hard. So yeah, if you're in it for the story like we are, I'd recommend playing at the lowest difficulty like we are. Then
the other new release.
The other thing we've been playing.
Animal Crossing.
You've played more of this than I have, so I'll let you roll. I started this. I got overwhelmed. And
you got overwhelmed just when they said, okay, now here's 7 people you can visit.
Yeah, here's all these places that your map just now completely opened up, and here's all these animals. Go. And I'm like, and so it was loading the next screen, and it errored out, and I was like, this is my sign. I need to get out now. So you, however, you played a little bit even today.
Yeah.
So what is Animal Crossing Pocket Camp?
So, Animal Crossing Pocket Camp is a mobile game where you are a Animal Crossing.
You are an Animal Crossing.
So great so far.
And Animal Crossing.
You run a camp, and there's different SCPs around who have their own camps, and they all need help. Basically setting up their camp and running their camp. And the more stuff you do for other people, the more they'll do for you. Typical fashion of Animal Crossing. Now, where this thing gets interesting is that they're everywhere. And then you can do it with other people too. And the more people you have, the more friends you have, the more your camp flows and blossoms.
Okay.
And this seems like an endless world, which I think is the point.
Yeah.
It's meant to feel endless and like go around collecting different friends and stuff.
It seems like it's a smart way to make the Animal Crossing formula into a mobile game.
Oh yeah.
It feels a lot more compartmentalized because you have timers on building stuff and you have limits to when you are able to get fruit from trees, etc. Yes. It seems like it's designed around a mobile interface, but at the same time it has kind of the main things you want to do in Animal Crossing. It has interactions with your animal friends. Mm-hmm. It has like where you do jobs for them, you befriend them, you talk to them, you invite them over. And then you have the furniture and designing part of it, where you're building your campsite like you used to your house. And you're organizing furniture and stuff like that. So it seems like a good way of taking those concepts from the console and DS games and bringing them to a mobile phone.
Well, it's as if what is it? Is it that Farmville?
Yeah.
Was more interactive.
If it was a game?
With other farms.
If it was an actual game.
Yeah. Rather than just planting stuff and waiting for a timer to run out.
Yeah.
But if Farmville was an actual game and set around summer camp, we would get Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Pocket Camp.
It's cool. It's cool. It's cooler than I thought it was going to be, even though it's not for me.
Right.
But there are definitely people where this is definitely for.
Oh, yeah.
I think a lot of people are going to fall instantly in love with this, especially those who love Animal Crossing. I like Animal Crossing, but really I only have experience with the original GameCube one. So I don't have the affinity quite for the later period stuff. And so this kind of borrows from a lot of that. But also it's a mobile game, so it's going to be different just by its nature. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's very, very interesting. I think there's a lot of people that would love it.
Yep. And with that will wrap us up.
Yup. So, if you liked what you saw, there's more of this on the interwebs. You can find us on MediaBoatPodcast.com. We write stories and go up daily, almost daily. Features every week about the box office numbers in film. We have stuff every Friday talking about the new releases for the week. Our thoughts for whatever we see movie-wise, play, video games, listen to, music. We try to put our little thoughts on paper for you there, on digital paper. Then if you don't want us to read us and you want to hear us instead, you can catch the audio version of this podcast on Apple Podcasts.
Yep.
As we're legally obligated to say now. As well as a lot of other RSS-powered podcast machines. You can find us on social media. We're at Yes. At MediaBoatCast on Twitter. And we're on Facebook. Just search MediaBoat Podcast and you'll find us.
Yep. We're on Twitch too. That's MediaBoat.
Yeah, that's where we do our video game streams. We're usually on Tuesday, but sometimes we're on Wednesday. So check our Twitter for when we're live on twitch.tv/MediaBoat.
We will be doing some Jackbox stuff.
Yeah.
Which means you can play with us.
Yes.
So just watching us stream. Play with us. Interactive. We'll get to chat with you too.
It's cool.
Yep.
And then lastly, if you want to help us out, make our content even better, go to patreon.com/MediaBoat. We have a Patreon where you can help us out. Money Manziel. As little as $1 a month gets you to be a patron of our show. Being a patron gets you cool stuff that we haven't had to give because no one's a patron yet, but we will eventually. And also will help us make better content for you. So check that out. In the meantime, we'll be back for episode 100.
Yes.
Next week of the MediaBoat Podcast. It's our milestone that nobody will be here to see. So exciting. All right, so we'll see you guys next week.
Yes, we will be back next week. 100, please tune in.
With Isaac Ryan Brown.
Live. Please tune in live.
Navia Robinson.
8 p.m.
And Jason Maybach. I actually don't know who these people are.
They're kids, Matt.
They're kids. Sky Cats.
That sounds like a Twitter handle.
All right, we had to stop.
That is a Twitter handle.
That was our cue. Sky Cats was our cue. All right, bye.
Bye.
Oh my god.
Sky Cats.
That makes me unbelievably happy.
Someone's legit name is Sky Cats.
So is she her character?
I believe so. She's
is this
still
a sequel
Raven.
Show?
Yes.
That's what they should have called it. She's still Raven?
Yes.
Raven's house. So she's
Raven's home.
Home. And it's her same character because she still has the psychic powers?
I believe so. But I think her kids also have the psychic powers.
Oh, so everybody has the psychic powers?
Except for the husband.
But if everybody has the psychic powers, what makes the psychic powers interesting?
Because they only happen like when the plot needs it to.
I can get water. I'm like coughing.
Alright, well, the YouTube after show, we were streaming live. We went through it live. Thank you, Doctor, for listening. Tune in 100. Tell everyone. I will be telling people how great it was once it happens. Maybe we'll wear suits. Wear suits for 100 and have champagne.
No.
No?
We can have champagne, but no suits.
Let's be in robes.
No. Considering the recent things happening with men in robes, we're not going to be in robes.
Well, I think I'm just going to wear the Sanchez jersey then. Or you can wear the Sanchez jersey then.
We can figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
We should have made t-shirts.
Happy 100th.
We can make... Actually, you know what? My logo would make a pretty rad shirt.
Your logo?
Yeah. I would wear that shirt.
What, the MediaBoat logo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd make a rad shirt. We should do that.
Well, we'll see if we can get that done in a week.
No, we can't do it in a week, but down the line. We
101.
should. Maybe.
Or start of season 3?
Yeah, maybe by then we'll have it. But yeah, I mean, I have MediaBoat MediaBoat God. Wow, I did the reverse slip. I have a 4 credits podcast.
I know you do. You wore it for your credentials.
It's dumb. But yeah.
Anyways, thanks for watching. Let's end this.
I have t-shirts. Bye.
Yep. All right. Bye.